welcome to the New York Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network. I'm Sal alongside John Jastrzemski here. We're talking New York sports with you for the next half hour or so, and there's a lot going on, JJ, with your Yankees, or should I call them the Yankees? 17 strikeouts yet again from this team. My thing is it's nothing new. Like we should be used to this. This is how this team is built. They're live or die by the home run, strike out a ton. So nothing has really changed. And so far, no blood drawn in this first two games. Huge 4-game set in Tampa Bay.
I know you couldn't wait to bring that bit back to life. I know you were salivating as you were watching strikeout after strikeout after strikeout from the Yankees. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you can take some satisfaction in it. And you're right. Nothing has changed. That has always been a part of the theme of this Yankee group. Sal, it doesn't make it any more acceptable. Like, come on, man. Dude, you have back-to-back games. The more remarkable thing about it is that the Yankees actually found a way to win one of the first two games of this series with the gazillion amount of strikeouts that you have. And, normally when you play Tampa Bay, and we've talked about this a lot, they lull you into playing their style. It's pesky, it's stealing bases, it's running the bases, it's putting the ball in play. It's a lot of the stuff that's like makes the Rays like this irritating gnat that you can't just get rid of. This game was different though. Yeah, the Yankees struck out a zillion times, but the reason Tampa Bay was able to go and win this game, they hit a gazillion home runs. Like that's supposed to be the blueprint and the hallmark of the Yankees in order to go and win games. And instead it's Tampa Bay hitting bomb after bomb after bomb against Will Warren, and you had a couple of guys who had some non-competitive at-bats. Listen, I got to own it. I'm a man of accountability, Sal. I'm clamoring for the people's shortstop, and by the way, I'll still deal with the people's shortstop striking out 4 times as opposed to watching that stiff Anthony Volpe, who just get him out of my life. But he goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Goldschmidt, who is carrying the team in the month of June, goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Like, that's just not sustainable to go and beat a team as good as Tampa Bay. When they hit home runs, you got to hit a couple out of the ballpark. Other than Rice, they didn't. And it's just not acceptable. Right. You're looking at 16, 17 strikeouts. I'm sorry.
But is it sustainable for the Rays to out-homer the Yankees? Like, I know the Rays are good, and I got in the same trap last year with the Blue Jays. I still thought the Yankees were the better team. Blue Jays beat them head-to-head. Clearly, they were the better team. Dude, the Yankees are down as bad as you could be right now. They're without Aaron Judge. They're without Stanton. And forget Stanton because he's never healthy. They're without Max Fried. You got Will Warren on the mound. Like, this is not a game to me that I would judge the Yankees based off of. And yet they still were within one swing of the bat. And I'm with you on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt killed them because it's one thing to strike out, one thing to go into a funk. You can't be striking out against lefties like that. Goldie's here for one reason, and that is to mash lefties. Obviously, they need more of them now without everybody else in that lineup. But still, against lefties, he's got to come up. And in the 7th inning, a huge spot, man on base, trying to extend that inning, get the at-bat to Ben Rice up. Let Benny Barrows go out there, the one guy in the lineup that you trust right now. And Goldschmidt had a pathetic at-bat, and he goes down swinging for the 4th straight time. So now I'm not saying that the Yankees are perfect here, but I ultimately think, and again, it's a 2-game series. Yankees have been awful. They still figured out a way to win one of these games based on pitching, which is a strength with Cam Schlittler. And their power is still, to me, going to be better than Tampa Bay's in the long run. So I don't know what's going to happen these next 2 games. Yankees just need to get one of them. But over the long haul, over the rest of the season, don't you trust that the Yankees will be much better, especially in the power department, than the Rays?
In theory, yes. But Tampa's got a little bit more power than you think. Camillero's a beast. I mean, every time you watch that guy, he hits a home run. And Yandy Diaz, you go back to the deadline a couple of years ago, Sal, I was dying to get this guy in the Yankees. He's just such a winning player. And sure enough, he homers in the game. So, like, if we're comparing lineups, you're absolutely right. Like, the totality of the Yankee lineup, especially when you put Aaron Judge eventually back in it, should be vastly superior to the Rays lineup, except it's now midway through the year. Tampa's got the lead in the division, and they could smell blood here in the next 2 games. We're going to get to it. This is a monstrous start for Gerrit Cole because it's been this buildup. Hey, he's coming back from Tommy John. He got off to the really nice start. Then he's regressed over his last couple of starts. Well, you're matching him up with one of the best pitchers in the American League. They're going to roll out Rasmussen and they're going to roll out McClanahan in back-to-back days. Yankees don't hit those guys. That's a problem. You can't imagine the Yankees after not hitting yesterday and barely hitting the day before are now going to go and put up crooked numbers here and score 7 or 8 runs against those guys. You really need Cole to go and give you a big time performance. I don't think it's going to be to the level of Cam Schlittler, but Sal, you need at least 6 innings of 2-run ball. I mean, if you're going to go and win this game, that's what you need.
Part of my issue is that I don't know if, like, I'm just being honest with you, my feeling, I'm not there where I trust him. Maybe it's just against that team. I love Gerrit Cole, don't get me wrong. But coming back off the injury, there's been some ups, there's been some downs. And then against that team in that ballpark, that lineup, I trusted Cam Schlittler wholeheartedly. We talked about it. We loved the Yankees that night. It was the right bet to make. I had the parlay. I know you foolishly threw in Team USA on that
the
one.
stupid soccer. I did hit my Met one yesterday, which I'm very proud of. By the way, sorry to digress.
Yeah.
If Bobby Witt didn't score a run and he scored late in the game, after the Royals score 17 or 18, that's when you want to walk away from the table. Just saying. So we needed to get that home.
I have been on a heater here placing these bets on Bet Rivers. We had Schlittler and the over 7 strikeouts on Monday. We had Argentina yesterday.
Merry Christmas with Argentina and Messi.
Now, I know nothing about soccer, dude, but I saw the line. It was a huge. All I know is this: Messi is another world of a beast. So I parlayed Argentina just to win because they were huge favorites with Messi. He's to score a goal. He scores a goal. They come back in that game and get the win. And then last night with the Mets, and we'll get to the Mets in a second, not to totally veer off path, but last night, to your point, it was Senga on the mound. I knew the Mets bullpen was depleted. The Royals run total over 3.5.
Oh, what a gift. Merry Christmas. How did I not? We talked about that on Baseball Night New York. How did we? Over. Kodai Senga was your bulk guy. I mean, that's an automatic gift. Please.
It was a layup. All right, so back to Cole for tonight. So my gut feel, I'd love to be able to take the Yankees tonight, and I'd love to be able to think that Gerrit Cole is going to shut him down. I just don't know. I'd be curious to get your take where you're at with him. I think they need to. I felt like Cam was going to do it. I knew Cam was going to do it. He did it. Okay, great. I'm not there with Cole. I could see this going either way, but the Yankees are in trouble. I don't think they've announced a pitcher for Thursday yet, right? Thursday afternoon. That was supposed to be Rodon's
It's
spot.
a TBA. It's probably going to be Elmer Rodriguez.
I mean, that's a tricky spot.
No, that's a game you expect to lose. That's my point. So if they go and lose this game on Wednesday, they like the betting line today, you're seeing the Yankees as dogs, small dogs. Tampa minus 120, Tampa minus 130 on Bet Rivers. Sal, if it's Elmer Rodriguez against McClanahan, Tampa Bay is going to be 160, 170, if not more. So, yeah, if you lose this game, there's a very good chance you're losing 3 or 4. And that is no bueno because then you're losing 2 more games in the standings, for goodness sakes, to this Tampa team when you only got 1 more series left with them between now and the end of the year. And that's why, like, people continue to dismiss Tampa, right? They look at them, they say, hey, I don't know if they could do it for 162. Their run differential's not as good as the Yankees. They don't have as much star power as the Yankees, but all they continue to do is keep winning. So you better be careful here if you're the Yankees. Big time start out of Cole. I think this is a low scoring game tonight. I think this is like one of those classic 3-2 games. And that's where the Yankees have to be so tight around the margins. And with the brand of baseball style they've been playing as of late, I don't trust them around the margins.
Okay, but here's why. Like, I'm not dismissing the Rays. I know the Rays are very good. I like their brand of baseball. I don't know how the hell they do it. I mean, the Mets and Yankees spend hundreds of millions of dollars, yet the Rays continue to win more games, and they do it with no names. I don't know how they do it, but they continue to do it year in, year out. However, the Yankees are without, and I'm not trying to make excuses. Believe me, I'm not making excuses for them. They're without 2 of the best offensive players in the game, and I don't like Stanton, and I would never rely on him. This is going back years, but they do, and when he is in the lineup, he's a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, Judge is the best player in the game. They're without Max Fried, one of the best pitchers in the game. And yet the Rays are still only 5 games better. The Yankees have fallen off a cliff. They've been god-awful. They can't make contact, striking out at a historic rate. And yet, and we praise the Rays, but yet it's only a 5-game difference. So how can I not think that when Judge comes back, Fried comes back, Yankees make big moves. They have to make moves, multiple moves, whether it's the bullpen, whether it's an infield bat, whether it's catching upgrade, like they need maybe another starter. We can get to Scooble in a second. How am I not supposed to believe that when all that happens for the Yankees and the Rays are still sitting there playing their solid brand of baseball, but the Yankees go up multiple layers, they're not just going to run right past them in the AL East?
Because they're not going to have enough time. I think that's the problem, Sal. When is Aaron Judge coming back? Like, if Aaron Judge was going to be back, I don't know, right after the All-Star break, I think it's a different conversation. I'm saying they lose these next 2 games. And you losing a couple of games in the standings. Sal, Yankees schedule. I don't know if you've taken a peek in July. Dude, not pretty. Dodgers, Phillies,
Yeah.
trip to Chicago, spunky White Sox, Wrigley Field, where the Cubs is. You don't know what you're getting out of the Cubs, but not. The point being is, it's not like they have it set up where it's cupcake after cupcake after cupcake after cupcake. It's no picnic, so it could get worse before it gets better. So, like, yeah, when everybody comes back, that's why we talked about it on Monday. If this series is a barometer on the Yankees' playoff chances, my concern was like 0.001 out of a 10 or 100 or 1,000, whatever the number might be, because the American League, the Yankees aren't missing the playoffs. But like you're running out of time. Eventually, you're running out of time for Aaron Judge to get back and to make up that amount of games in time. Dude, it's not easy to do.
They have a soft schedule in September. You're right though. It is a gauntlet coming out of the All-Star break with obviously you get the Dodgers there, like you mentioned, in Philadelphia, Cubbies, Cardinals, Braves, Mariners, Blue Jays, Orioles, Astros, Red Sox. Like there's a lot there. But it does soften up in September. And even the Yankees could get fat in September. Like the thought of them missing the playoffs, and maybe that's why I have a hard time. Like, dude, we said the same thing last year. They went into their funk last year. It was all the Yankees not good enough, not good enough. They win 94 games.
They did, Sal, but let's acknowledge something though. Their inability to win the division really hurt them in that series against Toronto. Because if you looked at the metrics, they played much better against the Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium than they did at Rogers Center.
Yeah.
Instead of getting that game one at home, hey, Max Fried game one, Cam Schlittler game two, we're setting up our pitching, we're ready to go. Dude, you got to gruel, you got to scratch, you got to claw to barely beat the Red Sox. Heels pitching game one, he gets smoked, and it set the tone for the rest of the series. And you didn't have home field. And the Blue Jays, see, that was the thing. All year, and I was in this camp, Sal. I was right there with you. I said the Yankees are better than the Blue Jays. They're going to match up with them in the playoffs, and they're going to beat them. And I had massive egg on my face because they got smoked. They got smoked in Toronto. Like, let's put it this way. Was it you watched that 4-game series? Was it a fluke that the Yankees lost this series?
No, they got beat.
Better team won.
The Blue Jays, I was with you all along thinking, all right, well, push comes. And by the way, they lost on a tiebreaker. Like, they each won 94 games. Now, the Blue Jays own the Yankees in the regular season. Toronto was the house of horrors. So you're right. Blue Jays won the tiebreaker. They barely held on. Remember, the Blue Jays were going into a funk down the stretch where I thought the Yankees were going to catch them. They didn't, and it did make the difference. And whatever doubt anybody had, the Blue Jays ended it because they beat them up badly head-to-head in the postseason. You're right. I'm going to say the same thing. I just don't see that happening with the Rays this year. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't happen, but if the Yankees are they're basically guaranteed to be in the postseason, right? Even if Judge doesn't come back until September, you see a scenario where the Yankees
they'll be in the playoffs.
Okay.
But Sal, okay, I'll counter. You're going to feel good playing a game 5 in the Trop?
Game 5, maybe.
Unless Schlittler's on the mound.
Okay, but that's the equalizer, and he could be.
But here's the other problem. If you're in that wild card series, and I would expect the Yankees to win against whoever they play, how's your pitching lining up?
Yeah.
Do you go 3 games again? Can you set up Schlittler to pitch twice in the 5 games? Like, that's what I'm saying. It compromises you. It's not that they can't do it. Vegas and our friends over at Bet Rivers, they're going to install the Yankees as a favorite if they make the playoffs, no matter who they end up matching up against. But I saw this script last year. That's all I'm saying. I saw it last year.
Clearly, the Yankees need to make big-time additions. Not just like, okay, well, yeah, they need a bullpen arm or they need to upgrade catcher. Like, they need serious moves here. I'm focused on Skubal. I mean, you talk about it in the postseason. Here's the one thing I know. If Skubal's available, he's going to be the best player available. The Yankees generally, well, at least used to, operate by going to get the best player. Now it's the Dodgers who do that. There's rumors about the Phillies or the Rays being in on Tarek Skubal. If the Yankees added Skubal, imagine a 1-2 punch with Skubal and Cam Schlittler. And then you have Gerrit Cole in a game 3. Dude, I don't care what they do with the rest of the lineup. I'd like to see them add a bat still. It wouldn't have to be a stud. I'd like to see them add a bullpen arm or 2. It doesn't have to be the best arms, but still. If you add Skubal, to me, that puts them in a conversation without even doing anything else to where you could argue that they're going to have the better pitching throughout the entire postseason and line up nicely. Where are you at with the Yanks trying to go get Skubal? I'm on this for months. I feel like now it's starting to become a little more mainstream where people, because it was adding a strength to a strength. Okay, well, let's go get Skubal, but we already have a great rotation. I still wanted to do it. Where are you at with the Yankees and potentially going after Tarek Skubal?
Okay, so I was adamantly out on the idea of Skubal like 3 weeks ago because I said, hey, the Yankees have bigger needs. you know you're not re-signing him. Like, there is a 0% chance he's coming back to the Yankees, not only because of the uncertainty of the economics. The Yankees have so much money tied up in the starting pitching. They're not adding another $250, $300 million contract and whatever the competition might be, assuming the old structure takes shape. And I'm like, okay, for a position where you have Schlittler, who's your game one starter, you have Fried coming back, and I assume Fried is coming back. I want to make sure that is abundantly clear. Where I'm like, okay, you have Schlittler, you have Fried, you have Cole, and then if it's a game four, it's Carlos Rodon, and I understand he's hurt right now, and he's probably coming back, and he's your game four starter. That injury now changes the calculus a little bit. However, Sal, there's a bigger fish for me than Skubal, and I can have him under control next year potentially if he's going to be traded. My dream target for the Yankees, and I don't know what the feasibility of this is, and I don't know what the possibility of this is. I want Mason Miller. That's who I want. Because to me, the Yankee rotation is still good enough. I still have the confidence that by the end of this year, maybe not in July, but come October, Cole is going to be where I need him to be. Fried is going to be back. And again, if Carlos Rodon is your game four starter, I'm not the biggest Rodon fan. I know you're not the biggest Rodon fan. I'm okay if he's your game four starter. I mean, the guy was in the All-Star game, for goodness sakes, last year. So, like, it's not like you're throwing out some sister of the poor starter. Miller is unbelievable. That is a guy who goes in and lengthens your bullpen. He's the best relief weapon the game has to offer. And here's the difference between him and Skubal. I get him for next year. So I'm going to give up what I'm giving up. All right, it's probably a similar asking price for Tarek Skubal. How the Tigers not asking for the moon and the stars with the competition that they're going to have? The Yankees give up these guys. I know I have Miller next year in my bullpen. That to me is a huge deal.
Are you willing to give up LaGrange and Lombard?
Yes. The Yankees probably won't be, but I am.
Right, you have to.
Well, and they will be in the spot. See, that's the thing, Sal. They're not going to do that for Skubal because they're probably looking at Lombard as their starting shortstop next year.
Right.
And they got to be careful with that because, hey, they didn't sign a shortstop a couple of years ago in the offseason, and we all saw how the Anthony Volpe experience has worked out.
But that's the point, dude. It's the same thing. Like, at some point, Cashman's got to go all in and make one of these moves. And I'm not even saying that I would trade Lombard because, to me, he feels like the most real out of all of them. But how many years is it going to be the same thing, sitting on your hands, be like, no, we're good with Volpe? That's what's killing them. People want to point to the strikeouts. People want to point to the injuries. What's killing them is Volpe, Dominguez, Wells, all guys who were penciling them to be all-stars for this team for the last several years. They've done nothing. Not to mention Spencer K. Jones. Like, where are these guys? Dominguez looks like he could be a big league contributor. He's nowhere near what they thought he was going to be. Volpe's been a total bust. Wells has been a total bust. So who's to say that the same thing can't happen with Lombard? And now potentially, whether it's Skubal, whether it's Mason Miller, I'm with you. Like, they're probably going to be – they're not going to do that. I don't think they get either of those guys without giving up Lombard.
Well, and that's the thing. So if you're going to take the bitter pill and make that sort of move, I don't know if you could get away with doing it for a 2-month rental. Yeah. But to your point, hey, hourglass is ticking, man. Like, it is ticking. All of a sudden, Aaron Judge is going to get younger over the next few years. Gerrit Cole is going to get younger over the next few years. Max Fried is going to get healthier and younger over that. Like, the time is now. The time is now. The American League stinks. You're ready to go. You can't. This idea that you're going to be back here in 2 years, 3 years. Why? No givens. Got to win one.
Would be nice to have Soto in that lineup, wouldn't it?
Well, listen, he's fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. He's fun to watch. But it's funny how that goes, Sal, because you ride roller coasters as Yankee fans. Oh, you really miss them. Then you feel like you miss them more when Bellinger's playing like this. When Bellinger's playing like an all-star and Fried is pitching like an all-star, you're like, okay, neither one is Juan Soto, but I got two of these guys. I got more balance. Like, you can talk yourself into it. But, dude, you know how much I loved watching your guy in 20. Hey, I'm not going to be one of these Yankee fans saying I didn't want him. I wanted him back, man.
Of course you did. It's sour grapes. And by the way, what we said at the time, because it happened in that year in 2024, he's also insurance for Judge. When Judge is not in the lineup, you still have the star. I like Bellinger as a player. I think Bellinger has been a terrific Yankee for the most part, although I don't know what he's doing last night with his head up his rear end, getting picked off of first base after a base hit. Like, that can't happen. But he's not Juan Soto. So I'm not trying to make it – I'm just trying to transition from the Yankees to the Mets here.
It was seamless. I'll give you a seamless transition.
I'm not fully trying to make it about Soto leaving the Yankees for the Mets, but it does remind you of, oh, yeah, like, Bellinger's good. he's not Soto good. And the Mets, while they are a train wreck and they are just like, that was an awful game to watch last night. Even cashing the bet with the Royals early on, couldn't keep my interest in the game with the Mets. But Soto is the must-see ticket, a machine, dude. My favorite thing is when he lets the pitcher know that he's got him beat. He did it against Iglesias with the big 3-run homer in the ninth inning against Atlanta. He did it again last night with Lugo. Soto's, dude, he finally, it took a year and a half. And even though the numbers were great last year, and certainly from a Met perspective, one of the great Met seasons ever, but he finally looks like he did when he was a Yankee or when it was with the Nationals, won the World Series with the Nats. That's, to me, this is the best Juan Soto that we've seen, period, certainly with the Mets.
Oh, it's not even close, dude. It's not even close. This is the guy, Sal, that I watched in 2024 with the Yankees. And brought this up when we were doing Baseball Night in New York yesterday on SNY. The stats were really good for Soto, but like you watch the games, that swagger, that confidence, the body language is not where it's at this year. I mean, dude, you saw it, right? Like in the Iglesias at bat, a little shuffle, the stare downs, just that sort of aura and confidence that he's had from the minute he's come up to the big leagues. I don't know about you. We didn't see that last year with Soto. You are seeing it this year. And I don't want to, rub it in and throw salt on the wound, but I'm going to do it. Dude, to have this guy on your team and to go and get him, and now to be in a spot as a franchise where you're not playing in the postseason for the second consecutive year with Juan Soto, dude, that is an absolute disgrace. I'm sorry. It's a disgrace.
It's criminal. That thing, you just ruined my mood because I was excited.
Sorry, bro.
No,
sorry.
but you're right. And I've seen the Mets do this, unfortunately, JJ, way too many times. They go get Johan Santana years ago because he was supposed to be the eighth. Like if they had Santana in 2006, they probably win the World Series. If they had Johan Santana in 2007, they possibly get to the playoffs and maybe win the World Series. They get him in 2008. He never pitches in the postseason for him. Jacob deGrom, after 2015, Jacob deGrom became the best pitcher ever. Didn't pitch in the postseason. I mean, they do this all the time. R.A. Dickey wins a Cy Young. Didn't pitch in the postseason. You have a guy that wins a Cy Young. You want him on the mound in game 1, 5, and 7 of the postseason series. They couldn't do that. You get Juan Soto with the singular purpose of having him perform in October. That's the one thing that we know for sure he's great at. He did it with the Nationals, winning a World Series in 2019. He did it with the Yankees, getting them to a World Series in 2024. Soto belongs in October. Unfortunately, even though he's had 2 great statistical years, prime of his career, they're going to be empty because there's no postseason. I can't take it. It is criminal. Everything else, I mean, look, we get into the young outfielders. I like A.J. Ewing and I like Carson Bench, but everything else should go. They got to figure out, it shouldn't be that hard to build a team that can make the postseason, and then you get Soto in the playoffs and you can elevate. He does it against the best of the pitchers in the biggest spots. It's why we love him. And unfortunately, you're right. There's going to be no postseason for the Mets. I can't.
Yeah, and it's sad that like this season just goes completely for naught. Like OPS, it's the second best OPS in all baseball. It's Yordan Alvarez and Juan Soto. And Sal, it's the sort of year that if the team was any good, he'd go win the MVP. But he's not going to win the MVP because he's going to be on a team that wins 70 games this year. Brutal. That's it. He's not going to win it. It's like you're going to have to make the Mike Trout or the Ohtani comparison. And the problem Juan is going to run into, even though he made a nice defensive play in the game yesterday, is that, listen, you're not going to watch Juan Soto and say, oh, well, we were going to give him the MVP because of his defense. Like his offense and his team has to be above and beyond everything else to go and win an award like that. It's not quite a DH. It's not, I'm not saying like Kyle Schwarber is going to win it, but you get my point. They look for like a guy who's an all-around player on a team that's winning. Soto's going to have this great year. But again, dude, 2024, they were in the NLCS. And I know we can dissect, hey, that team is fluky. Hey, they had everything go right. They were in the NLCS. The idea wasn't to go and add Soto and be out of the playoffs now in 2 straight years. But that's where we're at.
He might be able to win the home run derby, though. I know you
Dude, get him in. Let's go. I'm going to Philly. I love the home run derby. Home run derby is better than the All-Star game now. The game stinks. Like, I mean, nobody cares about the game. It just doesn't have the same feel. At least, thankfully, Sal, they will be wearing the proper uniforms, and Major League Baseball abandoned this nonsense and these, red and blue and these hideous jerseys that they would wear them in the home run derby. But like, it is a showcase event. One of the Philly guys is definitely going to be in it. Ben Rice is going to be in it, which I love because it's like, it really is a chance to break out. Like we've seen so many guys. Pete did this over the years. Judge did it over the years. Like this is your moment to shine in the home run derby. Dude, there's no showcase games for the Mets the rest of the way. You know Soto's a competitive SOB. Let's get him in there.
I'd
Let's
love to
go.
see it. Normally, I don't care about this. I think you're right. It gives local players, and baseball's a local sport, it gives them a national stage. So even though Juan Soto and Aaron Judge are mega stars, Judge in 2017 was not a mega all-world star. And then the home run derby put him on another level. Pete Alonso, same thing. It could happen with Ben Rice. I'd love to see Soto compete in it. I have nothing else. Last year, I didn't even watch the stupid game of the All-Star. They didn't watch the home run derby or the All-Star game. No Soto, no Sal.
No Soto, no Sal. We got to get that on a shirt, by the way. Can you get that copyrighted? Let's go here.
There's Soto now. There should be Sal. You've been to All-Star games before, I'm assuming, plenty of them?
Yes. I was at the Classic Home Run Derby in 2008.
Same.
Incredible when Justin Morneau beat out Josh Hamilton. Nobody remembers that.
Right, but Hamilton was the star
of the show.
Final year at Yankee Stadium.
And then I went, Sal, in Seattle a couple of years ago when Julio Rodriguez, I bet, and I remember I love betting on a home run derby, and I'll do it next Monday. I'll send the picks, and I'll be with you on Wednesday for Bet Rivers. I love betting the derby. Julio was like plus money against Pete. I was like, dude, sign me up right now. Pete's due to have a clunker in one of these things. So you could bet matchups. Like, it's crazy. I love it. So 23 in Seattle was cool.
Yeah, I did the 08 one with you with the Yanks, and then 2013, obviously. I actually caught a home run ball, too, off the bat of Bryce Harper.
Ooh, nice. Did that hurt your hand?
No, I didn't catch it clean. I had to beat up a couple of kids to grab it.
Nice, that a boy.
It was under my seat. Screw those kids.
That's right.
Let's finish up with a couple of questions here that were sent in via YouTube. At Wally Montero, what is the shakeup needed to snap the Yanks out of the funk? Who gets DFA'd, McMahon or Volpe? Go ahead, JJ. Take that one.
Ryan McMahon's not going anywhere unless he gets traded. And remember, unfortunately, the Yankees have options on Anthony Volpe. But Sal, you want to explain this to me? Not that I want to see Anthony Volpe play second base. Not that I want to see Anthony Volpe in the lineup, period, because he's just not a particularly good baseball player. What is this hesitance from the Yankees and Volpe, for that matter? It seems like it's more from Volpe than it is from the Yankees. And Boone, you know this. He's going to be diplomatic. He's not going to throw his player under the bus. If the Yankees tell him, go work your butt off at second base, he can't throw. He has to crow hop from shortstop to get the ball to first base. He's got no arm strength. That's why he has to get rid of the ball so quickly. He should be far more willing and far more receptive to move off shortstop. Dude, I'm sorry. You're not Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
You can go. You can go. Your offense is not even good enough to be in the everyday lineup. If the Yankees say, hey, maybe you should go work on second base, take it to heart.
Maybe that's something that they want to do in the offseason. I'm with you. I wouldn't be opposed to, I know you call Caballero the people's shortstop. I call Anthony Volpe the people's punching bag. I'm not opposed to having Volpe on the team. I don't want Jazz at second base. To me, he doesn't provide the skill set that I think the Yankees need to complement the rest of the roster. Plus, I just don't like his attitude a lot of times. Volpe, if developed properly, ideally fits the profile of what you would want. A guy who could put the bat on the ball.
But the problem is he doesn't do it. You're right about that. In theory, he should be a perfect second baseman, except for the fact he's not. On that note, because you brought it up, would you trade for Luis Arraez? Now, you're going to take a major hit on defense, but this is a 320 hitting machine.
Yeah.
He will be available. Forget about Jazz to third base. Been there, done that. You can't do it. He's a butcher.
You just move on from Jazz, right?
That's my question to you. Would you do? You talk about a bold move, putting Jazz Chisholm on the market and adding Arraez and putting him at second base.
I would do that because I'd rather. Now I don't like giving up defense, but I'd rather do that and have Arraez putting the bat on the ball, which is what the Yankees clearly need. And imagine him batting in front of Judge, and then you have the power.
There's your leadoff, Sal. There's your leadoff hitter.
So yeah, I just think he and that's why, back to Volpe, he was supposed to be that. You're right, he's not. But yes, they need. I think they need. I had this argument with Boone himself. We were talking about a
leadoff hitter. I think you're 100% right. And listen, I like Grisham, and this way the Yankees we dissect their problems and what they should get credit for. Looking back, the Grisham move on a 1-year contract ended up being brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. Because he's hit for them, he's played for them, and I can't imagine what the outfield would look like if he wasn't here. My goodness, what a mess. He's not a leadoff hitter, though. He is so much better off if you put him in the 5 spot and the 6 spot. Yeah. You let him mash, you let him get on base. He's not the prototypical leadoff hitter.
Lengthen out the lineup a little bit. All right, last one here. Angel Cruz, H-O-8-R-H. Hoater?
Close enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Anyway, with the American League being so bad, do the Yankees really need to feel any pressure right now to make a dramatic move?
Yes, because it's not just about winning the American League, Sal. This group has to win. So, like, we all proclaimed it best team they've had in the Judge era, best team they've had in the Boone era. Okay, how many more chances is this group going to get? There's got to be urgency. And again, I don't know what that move is that presents the urgency. You brought up Scooble. I counter with Mason Miller, but you have to be that sort of forward thinking because if you're not, well, you're going to watch the Dodgers celebrate on your field again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the idea of panicking and needing to make a big move now, but I do love the idea of looking at the team overall while watching them perform here. And you could evaluate, and guys being injured gives other guys opportunity. Looking at the team overall and figuring out what pieces you need to add. And it's to me, it's more than just a little move. I think the Yankees need definitively a bat in the infield. They need to upgrade catcher. They need bullpen help. And if I'm going to get the best on the market, I'll forego a bat in the infield in lieu of bringing in Tarek Schoolboy. I know it's not realistic to get a huge bat, a huge bullpen arm, and the best starter on the market. They're not going to be able to do all of that. I want the best that's available, and then a couple of smaller pieces to help round out this team to go win a World Series. I mean, that's what this is about here. So we can talk about 94 wins every year and in the postseason every year. At some point, they got to win the World Series. They haven't done it since 2009. They're held to a different level here. And they haven't acted the way the Dodgers have acted. They haven't even acted the way the Mets have acted as far as being aggressive in the offseason or in-season moves. So Yankees need to step it up. At some point, you got to push that button and fire and go all in. And they've been reluctant to do that, and it hasn't put them over the top. Maybe this year will be different with Cashman at the deadline.
We shall see. Monstrous game awaits, Sal.
Yeah.
This is for mid-July. This is a pretty big game with Gerrit on the mound later on this evening.
And we'll have plenty to recap on Friday, of course. And then next week, JJ and I'll be back with you as well, talking all things New York sports here on the brand new New York Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network. We'll see you later. Bye.